What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Joey Wright. And joining us today, we have our great friend and head of DFS over at the 33rd team, Jordan Vanek, joining us. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Appreciate you guys having me. It's always a pleasure. I know that Craig posted that I'm 2-3 overall, but I am 2-1 in poll perception. Let's get that 3-3 record so I can be 500, unlike my Carolina Panthers.
500 is not an easy record to reach in this show's history, as you're often playing against multiple contestants. But Jordan, good news for you today. JL was scared and bowed out. So you got a head-to-head matchup versus just Joey today. You mentioned it already. We got Craig in here, our chat historian, coming in. Not only is this your 6th game with a 2-3 record, but this is your 12th FYF appearance, making you a member of the FYF DDAT Club, the Front Yard Fantasy Double-Digit Appearance Club. Mr. Scampers stopping by with a good afternoon to everybody. What's up, Scampers?
Hey, Scampers.
And saying, well. Hello, Jordan.
Well.
Look what the cat drug in.
Oh,
Meow.
We've got Dustin in here. Hashtag Team Joey and Dame hyped for some FYF time. Don't take it personally, Joey.
He does it every day. I pay him $5 a day.
That's crazy. I'll send him 10.
We got Jay in the chat with a whole lot of handsome on this stream today. Yeah, it's almost over the top. Good thing JL's not here, or we would have reached our limit. Albert stopping by with hello, everyone. Welcome in, Albert. Glad to have you here. And all of you guys are in time for our game of poll perception. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But before we do, I got a couple reminders for you. First and foremost, if you're not following our guest, Jordan, go and fix that right now. You can find him on Twitter at Jordan Vanek DFS. He's going to give you all the hottest DFS tips for this year. He's been absolutely slamming those cheap wide receivers on DraftKings. So make sure you're checking out his weekly articles over there on 33rd Team as well. After you follow Jordan, head on back over here where you're watching us on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube channel or the Better Sports Network YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing right here on the show. And if you want to get a head start on week 4, you should head to fantasyalarm.com/win and start your 7-day free all-pro trial there. That's 7 days for free at fantasyalarm.com/win. With that being said, I think we're almost ready to get into some poll perception. Before we do, and before the questions start rolling in about this player, I wanted to talk a little bit about the number 1 waiver wire ad of this week. If he is sitting on any of your waiver wires, Mr. 51.200 rushing yard, 4 touchdown rookie running back, Devon Achane. Jordan, if he is sitting on your waiver wire, how much fab are you willing to drop on him?
I am pretty terrified on it. And the reason is Jeff Wilson's going to come back.
Yeah.
And look, I know what he did. I know 50 points for a running back is crazy. His counterpart also scored like 40 plus in Raheem Mostert. And at the end of the day, the Dolphins scored 70. I had to report a crime for what they did on Sunday.
Is that not
weekend.
Common, Jordan? You don't think they're going to drop 70 again?
I was watching it, and my buddy's at the game. He actually made it to the Instagram of the Dolphins Instagram. Like, you can see him in the crowd trying to do the wave while a drink's in his hand. And he kept FaceTiming me just with mouse dropped. Like, what am I watching? Like, it felt so effortless. It's cool to see for me as a guy who's back Tua for quite some time, see him with a coach like Mike McDaniel that everybody loves going to their job. It feels like
I watched clips of them and I just giggled. Did you see that clip going around on Twitter yesterday of them talking on the sideline and Mike McDaniel just says, yo, you know how you told me you Googled me? Well, I Googled you and ended up watching some high school tape and you looked like trash. Yeah. He said, your mechanics were awful. They're just on the sideline at a game and Mike McDaniel's trash talking his high school tape. Like, it's fun to watch him win.
No, yeah, there was another one where he's like walking past Tua while Tua's just like throwing to some guys. And Mike McDaniel has like his play sheet over his mouth. And he's like, man, Alabama stinks. Georgia's the best. Georgia's going to kill them this weekend. I wish we had more Georgia players as he's passing Tua. And you just see Tua just like shake his head and like smile. Like that wasn't happening 3 years ago. That part of Tua being vocal in the media and actually saying some things that have been a little bit feisty on one end, but like also we're going to question his deep ball after he threw for 500 yards, 466. Like it's cool to see. This
You're
week
more buying into this Dolphins offense as a whole than you are necessarily willing to drop the fab on Vanek.
Because Jeff Wilson's coming back. He's going to be the power back, and Mostert's still going to be there. I don't think A-Chain's going to be the number 2 running back when Jeff Wilson returns.
Really?
Yeah.
I trust you, Jordan, because I know you do your homework. I cannot imagine a world where what we just saw that they just okay, let's give it back to Jeff Wilson. It very well could be.
Well, my thing is this. A-Chain or Achan has the chance to be the number 3 almost receiver on the team. Like Mike McDaniel can do whatever he feels like it. And if you look at the plays, not that Achan didn't do everything great, everything was open. Robbie Chosen scored a 68-yard touchdown from Mike White.
The picture of the Denver defenders laying down on the field, like they were just, I don't want to give an analogy to it, but they're all on their stomachs. It's just embarrassing. I really hope Denver can rebound.
I got a little bit more optimism for Devon Achane. This was his first full snap share, it seemed like, after making his debut last week, and seeing him get 18 carries, even in a weird game script, was very promising. So they showed they're willing to give him the work. His explosiveness was not undersold. And so I see talent. Clearly, this opportunity won't be in front of him every week. But then a Raheem Mostert, who's played 1 complete season out of the last 5, sitting in between him and a lot of work here. So I'll drop my fab. I'm not expecting 50-point weeks. I'm not expecting even necessarily 25-point weeks regularly, but we know what's in his range of outcomes. And we've already seen how fragile this position can be, even to non-fragile players so far this season.
That's fair. I'll also add that Jalen Waddle didn't even play.
Yeah.
That makes it a little bit easier that you can consider Mostert and A-Chain as the second best player in the Dolphins.
Smokey's here, guys.
We got Smokey the Cat stopping by with what's up, my guys? What up, Smokey? Welcome in. And Jay saying, I think Robbie Anderson changed his name to Meta World Peace now, if he's not mistaken. Jeez. Also, Scott in here stopping by with Mike McDaniel as king of just get it to playmakers and let them cook.
I wish others would do that.
And Tim here says, got all the players to win the right matchup on any play. Yeah, we said yesterday, they just said, what happens if you collect all the fastest players in the NFL and put them on one team? I think Field Yates tweeted out this morning. It was like the 6 fastest recorded speeds from week 3 were all Dolphins players. Every single one. It was like multiple Tyreek Hills. Devon Achane was on there. Raheem Mostert was on there. It was like just straight up Dolphins players down the list.
It's just crazy what that whole tree does. It started with Shanahan at the top, and it's worked its way down. And you see the tree kind of take it from each other. Sean McVay is doing a lot of motions that are similar to Miami. Puka Nacua is great because they just let him get the ball where he needs to get the ball, and he's got sure hands. Once Matt Stafford sees that you got hands, he's going to throw it to you as often as you're open. And it's just cool to see the whole tree as a group, oh, that's our best player. He gets the ball every play. That's just what we're going to do.
Kind of makes sense. Well, guys, we got a game ahead of us here. We're going to talk more about some of the players we've discussed at the beginning of the show, and then a bunch of others as well, as we work our way through some poll perception. If you've never played this game here with us before, I'm going to explain how it works, and then we'll get started. This is the game that tests our contestants' understanding of the public perception around fantasy football and NFL players. I've collected 7 polls before this show started from the interwebs, and I'm going to propose those polls one by one to one of our contestants. So, Joey, I may ask you, what percentage of people chose side A, Saquon Barkley, over side B, DeAndre Hopkins?
54%.
Joey says 54%. The closer he is, the more points he would get. Up to a max of 10 if he's exactly right, 1 if he's 15 away, and it scales up within there. Before I reveal the answer, though, Jordan would be responsible for guessing whether the actual percentage is over or under Joey's guess.
Over.
Jordan thinks it's over. If he is correct, he would get 2 points for correctly making that prediction. Nothing if he doesn't get it right at all. You can also choose to queen bee your opponent, which means you think they are exactly right. This has never once been hit on the show. It is statistically improbable, but you will get the same amount of points as the person who got it exactly right, and you will get the glory of being the first person to have ever hit a queen bee and the satisfaction of ruining it for your opponent. Once we go through 6 polls like this, we're going to get into our 7th and final poll where there's no more of this over-under nonsense. You guys are just going to be writing down a number, the percentage that you think chose side A. Whoever's closer is getting 5 points. Unless you get it right, there's still 10 points up for grabs if you do that. And whoever has the most points at the end of round 7 is our poll perception champion on September 26th, 2023. Your Kohl's Cash, our fax machine is broken, so we're going to have to just mail it to you.
I think I figured out how to score the queen bee.
How?
If you queen bee, you get 15 points. And if you're the person that gets queen bee, you get a bonus 5 points. So you both get 15 because it's never been done. So we need to make it like a spectacle when it happens. Like they should like, yeah.
The person who gets it right should just lose 10 points.
That'd be funny. It's just like a double whammy. Yeah. Just steal all their points from them.
I mean, I think if you get queen beat and they're right, the person who queen beat you should be able to steal some points somehow. Something.
Before we get into our first round of the game today, in which Jordan is going to be going first, we have a couple questions in the chat.
Let's answer.
Smokey the Cat wanted to know Jacobs, Debo, or Puka moving forward. So I'm guessing this is for like a flex spot. Going forward is a very precarious question with Puka in the mix here. Debo Samuel's my answer, like Jordan, just overall, but Puka could be the play until Cooper Kupp's back. Jordan, is it Debo regardless of if Kupp's on the field for you?
It's Debo because of Kupp, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. Nothing against Puka. What he's doing is incredible. I still think he's going to get used plenty because at the end of the day, Kyron Williams and Ronnie Rivers aren't going to get it done rushing. So you're going to see them drop back 50 to 60 times a game. Last night you saw what happens when they lose some offensive linemen, and Trey Hendrickson just killed Matt Stafford over.
It was scary.
So
I was scared for him when the play started.
I'm going to go into the skinnier Debo Samuel, who's showing to everybody that, like, yeah, he's still really good at football. It's just he's been injured and things just haven't gone his way in the last 2 years, and now they look like they are again.
Joey, are you going Debo as well here, or would you roll with Jacobs or Puka?
Yeah, without Brandon Ayuk on the field, I'm fine going Debo moving forward. And I believe Ayuk is supposed to be back this week, but yeah, it'll be Debo.
We got one more question. I don't know who popped in here, but we got one more question in the chat from RJ Dakilla. Wants to know, I'm about to trade Waddle, Hawk, and Rashad White for Kelsey and Josh Jacobs. Do I do it? Joey, would you be making this move?
No, I would rather have Waddle, Hawk, and Rashad White.
Jordan, do you agree?
The depth.
I completely agree. I think Hawkinson coming into the year was my tight end 2/3. So he's shown nothing to kind of dissuade me there. And Jalen Waddle's really, really good at football.
We got JL stopping by in the chat with friends. What's up, JL? And Jordan.
Nice.
Saying hi to both of you. Also, JL stopping by saying hi to Craig as well. And one more question before we start our game. Guys, if you have more questions, throw them in the chat. We'll answer them throughout the show. It says, half PPR, would you trade Derrick Henry for ETN? So Derrick Henry has now been outsnapped by Tajay Spears 2 weeks in a row, though he's dealing with a nagging injury. Jordan, you making this move?
It's so tough. I think I'm rocking with Derrick Henry. I know what Tajay Spears has done. He's going to be the guy in negative game scripts. Tennessee eventually should have a positive one, and that Cleveland defense is just one of the best in football right now.
Joey, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with whatever side I have. So in this case, it'd be Derrick Henry. I do think Tank Bigsby is going to get more involved as the season goes on. He's definitely been less involved than I thought he was going to be this season.
All right, well, guys, we're going to get into our first poll here. Jordan, we explained the rules. You are up first. Are you ready for poll number 1 in our game of poll perception?
I'm ready.
Here we go. What I want to know is, which wide receiver would you prefer to pick up off waivers? Side A is DJ Chark, side B is Romeo Doubs, and side C is Adam Thielen. What percentage of people said side A, DJ Chark, in this poll?
Ooh, 3-way poll. I think Adam Thielen's got to be number 1 here. If he isn't, that's
Panthers players for a Panthers fan.
I love Adam Thielen, so I have so much Adam Thielen this year. It's really nice to be on that side of things. For DJ Chark, I would say 20% is what I'm going to set it at.
20%, locking that in?
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan locking in with 20%. Everybody in the chat, make sure you're playing along with us. Throw your guesses in there. If you're exactly right, we will shout you out. If you're very wrong, we'll mock the hell out of you. And if it's an average guess, we'll just say it once and then probably never talk about it again or remember. Joey, do you think the actual answer is over or under Jordan's guess of 20% on the DJ Chark side of this?
I think it's going to be a little bit over. I think the only little hang up with Adam Thielen is people maybe thinking this has more to do with Andy Dalton than it has to do with Bryce Young. And I think Romeo Doubs might actually win this poll. So I'm going to go over on DJ Chark just a little tiny bit.
Taking the tiny bit over, and we got some answers in the chat. Also, I see Dave stopping by. What's up, Dave? Welcome in, my friend. Scampers thinks it's 14%. Dave coming in with 12%. Craig 10 higher at 22. Medarius in the same ballpark, though, with 21%. Sparkamo says that it is 17%. Welcome in, Sparkamo. Albert with 10%. Dustin coming in with 30%. Well, the actual percentage of people that chose DJ Chark in this poll over both Romeo Doubs and Adam Thielen was, shout out Scampers, 14% exactly. Jordan, that is going to put you within 10, which is going to earn you 3 points. So close to being within 5, but 6 away is going to be right outside of that range. Joey, you're going to get 0. Starting you off strong. Jordan, when you look at these 3 players, you mentioned you have so much Adam Thielen, so you're not really trying to pick him up off the waiver wire probably. But if you were making this decision, would he be your priority ad out of these 3?
Yeah, I would say Adam Thielen's a priority ad. I know Doubs has played somewhat well. I think that's going to change. Like, the target share in Green Bay is going to be really fun to figure out in the next 2 weeks when Christian Watson and Aaron Jones return. Because, again, we just talked about McDaniel. What do? They get the best players of the ball. Christian Watson is their best receiver. Aaron Jones is probably their best player. Those 2 are going to get the ball frequently. And then on the flip, I think Jaden Reed is a better player than Romeo Doubs. And it would not surprise me if Dontavian Wicks and Dobbs split the wide receiver 3 role.
Joey, it sounded like maybe you were more on the Dobbs side here. Or would you be preferring Thielen?
No, it's Romeo Doubs for me. I mean, this Christian Watson injury seems to just keep lingering. And for as long as it does, like, I want Dobbs. And, you know, I don't think any of these guys, we're looking at maybe a flex or wide receiver 3 role on your team. And so I just, for as long as that injury goes with Watson, and I haven't seen any sign of him getting on the field to play, that's why I'm going Romeo Doubs.
Christian Watson.
I was very high on the Adam Thielen. I thought Adam Thielen was going to be a red zone monster for Bryce Young, but
you have to get to the red zone to be a red zone monster.
That's the problem.
Our run game and O-line is just atrocious right now. I have no idea why.
It is not looking good. And Bryce Young could really use like a wide receiver 1 like DJ Moore or something in that offense. Just hypothetically, that could really help out.
I mean, I can't say Justin Fields is enjoying DJ Moore at all, so.
No, just send him back to the Panthers. I'm sick of the Chicago Bears DJ Moore experience. Well, Jordan, you got a 3-0 lead after that one. Shout out again to Mr. Scampers coming in the chat. Not only right, but the first guess out of everybody and getting it right. We also have Scott Fish stopping by, managing to insult everybody in one message, saying this show hasn't lost a step since JL retired. Good on you. You guys are basically the Bucks.
Well, I don't know if he's insulting us. I mean, the Bucks did beat the Vikings earlier this year, so.
I mean,
without Tom Brady.
Oh, the Panthers are going to beat the Vikings this weekend. We get our first win. Yes.
Does that make me Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
Joey, and then you can be Mike Evans?
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I want to be
You're Kate Otten.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Fire the cannons. Boom, 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 boom.
We were in sync right there, Jordan.
I'm all about it.
Also, Scott Fish saying the Bucks are 2-1. Indeed, they are.
Wow.
Why are they 2-1? It was a very funny scene. I was at the sports bar last night at the Miller's Ale House watching the game, and there's a bunch of Eagles fans, and I was the only Bucks fan cheering when the Eagles got good plays because I want them to keep losing. Oh, God.
I will say Dave Canales, the new OC in Tampa Bay, is just extremely good. He was part of Geno's success, and it's clear that he can kind of, hey, what are we best at? Throwing the ball to Mike Evans? We're going to do that. We're going to try our best.
Yeah, good plan with Mike Evans is on your team. Well, Joey, you are up now with poll number 2 in this game. You're in a little bit of a hole, but it is early. You ready for poll number 1?
Yep.
This is similar to a question we got in the chat to start the show. Not quite the same trade, but which side would you prefer in half PPR redraft? Wow. Side A is Josh Jacobs plus TJ Hawkinson. Side B is Travis Kelce plus Rachaad White. What percentage of people said Josh Jacobs plus TJ Hawkinson in this poll?
Okay, redraft. I mean, Travis Kelce is 100% the best player in this trade. However, Hawkinson has been playing really well. But you have to take into account the Taylor Swift factor, because Swifties will get in here and vote for side B. So while I would choose side A from a fantasy football perspective, because of Taylor Swift, I'm going to say that side A will lose this, and it'll be 41% side A.
41% side A.
Yeah.
With the
Which
Swift.
I do not agree with. I don't. I would take side A in this trade. However, yeah.
Blame it on Taylor Swift. Classic Joey. Jordan, do you think the actual answer is over or under Joey's guess of 41%?
I think people might see Travis Kelce and just click it. And I know that you mentioned the Swifties. I think the Swifties pull that poll a little bit further down. I'm going to go with the lower under here. I'm just going to say the percentage. I think it's like 35, 36, 35. Actually, got to go 35. Completely
Jordan taking the under, and he is straight vibing 3-5 with that guess. JL coming in, letting us know that he's in fact Kyle Trash, not Tom Brady in this situation. And Craig says Joey gives him Devin Tompkins vibes, not Mike Evans. How you feel about that, Joey?
I feel like I'm here. I feel like I'm a part of the experience, and I didn't realize he was last night, but he wasn't much of it. So I think Craig is kind of saying everything he thinks about me in that little statement.
It's because of your attempted coup on his historian role.
Yeah. To bring up our listener league, Guillotine League, everyone was rooting for me to get cut, but who got cut instead, Craig? Was it me or was it you? Because I think it was you.
I love the feud that is starting to develop between Craig and Joey.
We had the most lovely time in Canton, Ohio, sitting next to each other for a 4.5 hour draft. That's not an estimation. That's how long it took us to draft. And ever since then, it's just been awful. It's been awful. Too much time with Craig and Joey.
Well, Craig has a guess here in the chat with 60%. Scampers here with 29%. Albert with 45%. Ladarius with 41%. Scampers thinks Taylor Swift can overcome Rachaad White. And the actual percentage of people that chose Josh Jacobs and TJ Hawkinson over Travis Kelce and Rachaad White was 49%, Joey.
Okay.
So you are within 10, and Jordan incorrectly picked the under there. So you mirrored each other's turns. That's going to give you 3 points. Nothing for Joey or nothing for Jordan. Joey, you mentioned you would take side A here.
Yes, I
Josh
would.
Jacobs that much above Rachaad White for you rest of season?
I do believe he is. And TJ Hawkinson does look like, outside of Justin Jefferson, the second option in the red zone for the Vikings. So I would take side A, absolutely. I do not like the offensive line for the Buccaneers. I've said it a few times leading up to the season. With Rachaad White, if he's not catching little screen passes, I don't see the value there for him. And so, yeah, I would take Josh Jacobs and TJ Hawkinson.
God, the one thing that gives me hope for Rachaad White, hope's even the wrong word. It's just like the thing that makes it so I start him, and I'm going to start him again next week, is Sean Tucker got 2 carries. Baker Mayfield got 1 carry. Everything else goes through Rachaad White. So even when it's bad, it's still Rachaad White being bad with all that volume. I understand the upside that I thought was there at the beginning of the season. I don't see anymore with that offensive line. I don't see anymore the way they're choosing to run that offense. But it's like Najee Harris through the first couple weeks. Like maybe diet, not quite as much work. But you're just gonna get the touches. Jordan, are you taking side A here? I think I'm on side B. I'll take Travis Kelce, the upgrade at tight end, and another starting running back. Are you with Joey?
Man, I'm very split on this one. I think the one thing I'll say about Tampa Bay's offensive line is like week 1, Brian Flores just blitzed the entire time. It's kind of hard from them to get their scheme going and everything moving. And then obviously last night, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are menacing, and Fletcher Cox, and just Philly's defense line is obviously top tier. So I'm intrigued to see once Tampa Bay plays a team. Obviously, the other one is Chicago that they played. So it's kind of like they dominated them. That was good, I guess. I would say it's positive. So they played like the bottom of the bottom, and then like the Eagles and then the Vikings when they blitzed a ton. So want to see what they look like next week. And but as far as the trade, I'm gonna go with side A just because I love TJ Hawkinson. I think that role continues, and his volume is just king because Kirk Cousins throws the ball every play, and Cam Akers is not going to help that backfield.
And Jordan, I want to apologize to you in front of everyone because you and I were the two TJ Hawkinson guys this preseason, and I left you on that island. I pulled him out of my number 2 spot. And I just want to apologize to you publicly for doing that.
It's okay. I was team fade Mark Andrews, and team Zay Flowers is the number 1. It's worked so well. It's worked. It's all right.
Good so far.
It's I want to see when Mark Andrews is fully healthy before I start thinking about that. But
and even if Andrews ends up being good, landing on TJ Hawkinson because of being out of Mark Andrews is a pretty good consolation prize. It's a win all around.
It was always Calvin Ridley and TJ Hawkinson versus whatever Mark Andrews and receiver you were picking. And that's kind of the way that I went about it. It's the way that I drafted. I understood why people picked Mark Andrews. I just thought Zay Flowers was a little bit disrespected, and he's played up to par as a rookie, even though he got held this past weekend. We're going to talk about that.
No, he's looked good so far. With Darius and you're saying Craig versus Joey is a match that I need immediately. We'll get that on the books.
It'll be a TLC match. I could see it.
Scott, unbelievable. Back at it, coming in with the exact answer only 3 minutes after it was revealed. Just unreal. And Craig says Joey is quick with his word, shifty, and excels in his role. I see what y'all are doing. All right. The score is 3-3. We are moving into our next poll. Jordan, round number 2. Are you ready?
Yep.
Which side of this trade would you prefer in a half PPR redraft league? Side A is Jalen Waddle. Side B is Jerome Ford. What percentage of people said Jalen Waddle in this trade?
I hope I'm going to say this. I hope 88%. I hope. I feel like that number is too low. I just don't know if it hit the Cleveland Browns dog pound Twitter group or something, because that's like the real. I can't believe this is that close.
88% final answer?
Yep, I'm going with 88%.
Joey, do you think the actual answer is over or under Jordan's guess of 88%?
That's a high number. I mean, I think side A will win this. God, how do I go over on this? Like, but I think I have to. I'm gonna go over.
It's Joey taking the over.
Did it go to dog pound? 88%. Do you know who posted the tweet or the poll?
I do, and if it was necessarily relevant to the results, I would disclose who posted it.
Okay.
All right, we got some guesses in the chat for this one. Scamper's coming in with 96%. Craig thinks it's 90%. Ladarius a little lower with 77%. Albert at 81%. Sparkamo thinks it is 93%. Dustin with 92%. And Scamper's all about that Waddle. Also, before I reveal the results here, JL has an important announcement in the chat. Hit that like button if you want Joey to do a dance. Every like, Joey will post a 30-second dance clip on YouTube. So
okay,
every single one of them.
Good luck finding the YouTube channel that it's on.
And we only lie sometimes.
Yeah.
I took off my Be Kind shirt that I was wearing earlier, so now I'm allowed to lie again. Tim thinks this is 9,001% on the Jalen Waddle side.
That's a great answer.
All right. Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Jalen Waddle in this poll should have been 100, but it was 93%. Jordan, you're within 5, which means you're going to earn 5 points. And shout out our friend Spark in the chat getting this one exactly right. Nice job.
Yes, man. I wanted to go higher. I wanted to go. So I've seen these polls. They trick me all the time.
This means we are fully into the fantasy football season. Know what I mean? Jalen Waddle is out. Teams are 0-3. They need a running back. They are panicking, and they think, what can I trade to get someone, maybe Jerome Ford for Jalen Waddle? Do I do this? It's 3 a.m. I need someone to start next week. Joey, this is preposterous, right? These guys are nowhere near the same value, even with Waddle injured.
Yeah, no, this is Jalen Waddle 100%. And I usually give 3% to people being knuckleheads, but yeah, this is Jalen Waddle 100% out of 100%.
Okay, so the assumption is everyone here thinks it's Jalen Waddle. Jordan, I do want to ask you about Jerome Ford and what you think his fantasy outlook is rest of season. He's clearly not Nick Chubb, but he had the touchdowns this week that made him that much better, right? Like, or saved his fantasy week. Are you buying into Jerome Ford as a startable asset week in, week out?
I mean, yeah, this past weekend wasn't the week that I wanted to get to him. He scored touchdowns, which got him the 19-point output. But as long as he kept Kareem Hunt from re-signing with this team. So I think he's going to keep Kareem Hunt mostly off the field. I know Kareem Hunt scares a lot of people. Eventually he might eat into his work a little bit, but this team chose to keep him and not bring back Kareem Hunt at all this offseason until Nick Chubb went down. So I feel like he is going to be the lead back. It's just not going to be the way that it was with Nick Chubb.
All right. Well, guys, the score is now tied 3-3. Actually, no, it's not, because Jordan got 5 points there, bringing him up to 8-3. But Joey, it is.
I got 2 points.
Yeah, Joey got 2 points. Come on, give him 5.
Sorry, it was such good analysis on Jerome Ford that I forgot all about the points that everybody earned. Jordan got 8. Joey has 5. It's still 3 points differentiating you guys. Joey, are you ready for your next poll?
Simon. Yes, I am.
Okay, what I want to know is, which of the following running backs would you prefer to drop in redraft? Side A is Dalvin Cook. Side B is Cam Akers. And side C is Tank Bigsby. What percentage of people said A, Dalvin Cook?
Thank God I didn't get this one.
Now, is this poll coming from a personal vendetta nature or from a fantasy perspective? Because my answers will be very different for each one. I don't think you want to drop Tank Bigsby. I do think there's a lot of value in him the rest of the season. And honestly, we got to see what's going to happen in Minnesota with Cam Akers. So I think Dalvin Cook will win this, but I think it's going to be kind of low. I'll take a 42%.
42% on Dalvin Cook.
1 second. Yeah, 42 sounds right.
42% on Dalvin Cook. Jordan, do you think the actual answer is over or under Joey's guess of 42%?
Man, I think this is just like a who do you hate more situation. Who has hurt me. I'm gonna go with the under here. I know that Dalvin Cook's probably hurt these guys more, but I think Cam Akers is just going to get clicked because of his name, and Tank Bigsby's not going. Tank Bigsby is going to be the lowest number on this poll, so I think Cam Akers is Man, that's such a good number. I'm going to go with lower slightly.
Jordan taking the under on Joey's guess. We got some guesses in the chat as well. Mr. Scamper's coming in with 42%. Craig thinks it's 45%. Dustin coming in with 52%. Sparkamo says 27%.
I like that.
Ladarius coming in with 37%. Albert says 36%. And Toronto Dave coming in with 28%.
God, I went too high.
Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Dalvin Cook in this poll was 28, eh? Toronto Dave got it exactly right. Joey, you are within 15, though. 14 percentage points away, so you are going to earn 1 point. Jordan, you're going to get an additional 2, bringing you up to 10. Joey, you are at 6, still within 1 question striking distance.
Okay.
You're sitting right there. Oh!
all downhill since then.
Sorry, I thought we were being invaded. I thought the war was starting to take place right there on the screen. That was really cute. Joey, after you and Craig spent 4.5 hours together, did he impart any knowledge on you that would give you a reason to drop one of these 3 players over the other 2?
He told me nothing about them, nor did he tell me about any IDP players, which would have helped me quite a bit, because I'm 0-3 in the Kings Classic League, which I was so excited to get invited to. But anyways, I think out of these 3, if it's me, I'm dropping Dalvin Cook. I think that there is some value in Cam Akers. I kind of said it when I was kind of breaking the sides down. We got to see what's going to happen in Minnesota. I personally think Alexander Madison's a better running back. I'm ready to be proved wrong. Cam Akers had a really good finish to the season last year. And like I said, Tank Bigsby, I'm not giving up on him yet.
Jordan, what about you? Which one of these 3 are you dropping?
I don't think I want a Jet. I'm terrified of the Jets. I think out of these 3, I'm going to drop Dalvin Cook as well. Cam Akers, I know, has hurt a lot of people over the years, but I think it's time for him in Minnesota, where they traded for him for a particular reason that they're seeing the struggles with Madison. Madison didn't exactly play well. He dropped a few passes this past weekend, and he already has familiarity with the coaching staff. He's not going to be a startable running back, but he could be their starting running back, if that makes any sense.
That does make a lot of sense. Well, we got some more game ahead of us, Jordan. You've got a lead. It is back to you, an opportunity to build upon it. Are you ready for your next poll?
I'm ready. I already know what I'm going to guess. It's just going to depend on which side I think is better or worse.
Well, as we enter round 3 here, there is a new mechanic we'll be introducing. His name is Lawrence, and he specializes in carburetor repairs. We also have a new rule that we'll be introducing at this point in the game. Instead of just over, under, and queen bee, you can also guess way over or way under if you think your opponent's guess is more than 15 percentage points away. So that is 16 or more, not inclusive on the 15. Now, if you guess way over and they are 14 percentage points away, you're going to get 0 points. But if they are, in fact, outside of that range, you will get double the points, 4 points for predicting way over or way under. You guys ready to get into it?
Yep, I'm ready.
And these last 2 polls before the final round are both going to be Dynasty. We've had a lot of redraft so far. Get some Dynasty polls in here. Jordan, here's what I want to know. Which player would you prefer in Dynasty? Side A is Quentin Johnston. Side B is Puka Nacua. What percentage of people said Quentin Johnston?
Oh my God, this is gross. I have to go. You know what? I said I knew what my guess was going to be. It just depended on which side I preferred. I'm going to go with my gun here. I'm going to go with my gut. Sorry, not my gun. Don't have one of those.
My gun here.
I'm going with 35% Quentin Johnston. I think the Puka Nacua hype has overtaken him, and most of the people that are picking this poll are going to lean Puka because we haven't seen him with Cooper Kupp, and long term, people are going to buy into that guy. I prefer Quentin Johnston, though.
35%, pow, straight from the gun for Jordan. Joey, do you think the actual answer is over or under Jordan's guess of 35% on the Quentin Johnston side?
I turn my hat around backwards to show that I mean business. I'm going to say over, slightly over.
Joey taking the slightly over on that one. All right. Well, I see the questions popping in the chat, guys. We will get to those in between these rounds of this game, but we got some guesses in here as well. Craig coming in with the same exact answers you, Jordan. He was feeling the 3-5 crew as well. Scampers coming in with 24%. Ladarius with 41, as well as Albert. They're cheating off each other's tests, and Sparkamo says 43%. Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Quentin Johnston over Puka Nacua was 32%. Jordan read almost perfectly on that one, and you locked Joey out. You were going to earn 5 more points for being within 5 on that, and Joey, unfortunately, it's going to be no points for you. But with such a good guess, it is difficult to land on the right side of the over or under. Jordan, you're putting on a clinic today. This is a high score, and you haven't even gotten one exactly right. Usually scores this high have one.
Aren't you required to guess 33 on one of these polls?
3-5 in.
You're on the 33rd team, don't you?
Yeah, but the 3-5 crew predates the 33rd.
Yeah, this is the FYF. We don't. I got 33rd represented right here. All right, we don't need any more. We're good.
Thank you, Scampers. I turn it sideways.
That's important.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Now your next answer will be.
Might as well just queen bee in the dark, Jordan, because I'm getting this dead on.
I feel
God, it's gonna be a good clip if I do it.
I was thinking of doing that regardless of what you said.
Well, guys, looking at this poll, Jordan, you mentioned you would still prefer Quentin Johnston. Are you prioritizing him as a waiver ad this week with the Mike Williams injury knocking him out for the season, or is this more of a long-term play for you?
This is a long-term play because he was always going to be a developmental receiver. The way that I scouted him coming out of, college was that he's going to be someone that learns and grows as he gets throughout his career, because not every single receiver can come into the NFL day one and be great. He's one of them. He's one of those guys that needs to refine his route running, needs to refine some of the ways that he reads some coverages, but he can play inside out. He's big. He's got a big frame. He's high pointing the football a little bit better than he did in college. And he's obviously got the athleticism. Puka's unbelievable. What would you do with Puka if Sean McVay and Matt Stafford retired this year?
Cry.
Like, what would Puka's next season be? Like, in terms of dynasty, we're thinking Quentin Johnston's tied to Justin Herbert for 4 more years. We know that regardless of coach situation, he's got Herbert. We know Keenan's obviously on the other side of 30, getting to that point where maybe that won't be there. He's doing it right now, but I'm interested to see what people would do without him. And I know that Quentin Johnston's at least tied to Justin Herbert.
Joey, are you preferring Quentin Johnston in this as well, or is what you've seen from Puka through 3 weeks enough to launch him ahead of Quentin?
I love what I've seen from Puka, but I'm still going Quentin Johnston. My biggest criticism of Quentin Johnston coming into the league, not this league, was contested catches. At TCU, even though he's a big body receiver, he had trouble hauling in the ball when he was in man coverage. I think that's what he needs to work on. He's on the perfect team for that. And like Jordan said, he's got Justin Herbert for at least the next 4 seasons. I think we're going to see great things out of Johnston. I just do think it's going to take a while.
We had some questions pop in here. Cameron in here, starting the season 0-3 in a 14-team league, but wants to get our opinion on ways that they can improve their team. Joey, when we're looking at this roster, the starting quarterback is Joe Burrow. We've got Bijan Robinson, Javonte Williams, Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Warren at running back, Devonta Smith, Drake London, Zay Flowers, Elijah Moore, Zay Jones and Marvin Mims at wide receiver.
Man, I like
and then Dallas Goedert at tight end. I know. I'm thinking the same thing as I'm reading through this, especially in a 14-team league. Joey, what are you doing to improve this roster?
You ran into some tough luck. You've got really good depth, and you've got good players at each of your starting positions. I think Devonta Smith is going to bounce back. He came in with a questionable tag early this week. So when he didn't have a lot of production last night, I wasn't necessarily shocked. He was still involved in the game, but AJ Brown taking over wasn't too surprising. I'm shocked that you're 0-3. Honestly, I would keep riding this. Yeah. If you can package Drake London and Elijah Moore maybe to upgrade it just a bit of a better wide receiver, I would possibly do that, because this Atlanta Falcons, they're just not going to pass the ball this year. I just don't believe it's going to happen.
In a 14-team, one quarterback league, do you think there's QBs on the waiver wire you would prefer to play over an injured Joe Burrow right now? Like a CJ Stroud or a Russell Wilson or I'm trying to think of other guys that are going to be sitting there.
Well,
Russell Jordan Love, maybe, if he's still out there.
I would be shocked if Jordan Love shouldn't be still out there
in a 14-team league now.
Sam Howell.
It's heartbreaking. I would start Russell Wilson over Joe Burrow this upcoming week, I believe. If you're not starting Russell Wilson against the Bears, you're never ever playing him. That's the only reason I think I'd go Russell Wilson here. But this team is too good to be 0-3. It's just a matter of getting good luck with production. I think Drake, like your wide receiver 2 position's the one where I would upgrade, and I probably wouldn't even be starting Drake London unless your league is kind of big starting lineup. Like I'm starting Zay Flowers over him without question.
Mm-hmm. Scott Fish coming in saying Jimmy G would be good this week as well. I think my one suggestion for you, with the way the Cincinnati Bengals offense looks right now and Joe Burrow dealing with an injury, is treat your quarterback position more like a streaming position for the time being until we see a healthier Joe Burrow. I think that's how you improve your team, because I'm with these guys. The rest of it looks good. We had another question pop in here, a couple more that we're going to get to. ASD wanted to know, someone offered me Cooper Kupp for Chris Godwin and Jacoby Myers. Joey, you doing this?
No, I think Godwin's got some good work ahead of him. But Jacoby Myers has been one of the best surprises of the season. 2 really great games. He missed 1 game. But anytime we've seen him on the field this year with this Raiders offense, Jacoby Myers looks good, and he's getting targeted. So for an injured Cooper Kupp that we're not sure when he's coming back, I'm holding tight with Chris Godwin and Jacoby Myers. As much as I love Cooper Kupp and his talent.
Jordan, you trading for the injured Kupp, or are you keeping those guys?
It depends on the rest of the roster. These 2 guys were going pretty late, so if you were kind of top heavy at receiver, maybe some guys with later bye weeks, I would be heavily considering this. But from just this trade straight up, obviously Godwin and Myers have more value, and Myers was one of the guys that I'm kind of mad that I missed on this year, just because of the fact that Jimmy G played with him. He played with him when he was in New England. This is the coach of New England. This is how their offense is going to run. I mean,
and it seems like we all should have just seen that coming.
Like the guy he has
breakfast together, like
probably. And I mean, Devontae
Jimmy
Adams,
G's first child is named Jacoby Myers Garoppolo.
Come on, Jimmy. You go look at like Devontae Adams. He does it down the field, and we know Jimmy G as a passer just doesn't. He likes to get it out quick. He likes to get it out short. I mean, the first 2 weeks of the season, they rarely ever got sacked, and it was because Jimmy Garoppolo is just throwing it immediately. He does not hold the ball very long, and both of those guys can get open. So, yeah, from a just straight up trade, I'd go with the Godwin Myers side. But if you can afford to not have those guys, I'd go with Cooper Kupp.
All right, well, guys, we're going to move into our penultimate poll here now. Joey, this one is yours. You got a little bit of work to do to come back, but this game is still within reach for you. Don't count yourself out yet.
Let's go.
We just had a fun wide receiver dynasty poll. Now it's time for a fun running back dynasty poll.
Yay!
Joey, which running back would you rather roster in dynasty? Side A, Austin Eckler, or side B, Devon Achane? What percentage of people said Austin Eckler in this poll?
He deserved. They get this question with Eckler being there.
It's dynasty.
It's ugly. And it's right after a 50-point total. Wow, Austin Eckler is killing your lineups.
Have you been personally affected by Austin Eckler's fantasy output this year?
72.
Oh, Vanek, Wright, and Grunewald, associates at law.
Wait, he's 70 what?
72. Oh, we got a little news from Scampers. Browns are signing Deion Jackson. Sorry to interrupt there. A little breaking news. Thanks, Scampers.
That might
It'd be really cute if we had a cat run across the street and bring us breaking news. 72%. I'll go side A.
72% on the Austin Eckler side. Jordan, do you think?
Yeah. It's 1 week.
I'm gonna go with way lower because I believe that the overreaction, the coming into the year, and just the overall like A-Chain has a lot going for him, and the fact that it said dynasty with Austin Eckler's age, I'm gonna rock with the way lower. I think this is closer to a 4% Austin Eckler side.
All right. Well, Jordan taking the way under on this one. We had some guesses coming in the chat. Craig coming in with 50%. Mr. Scamper saying 33%. Ladarius thinks it is 65%. The actual percentage of people that chose Austin Eckler over Devon Achane in this poll was 55%. That is 17 percentage points away, meaning Jordan is going to lock in the way under and bring his score up to 19 points. Unfortunately, Joey, that is going to be no points for you. And this is what they call in the Jeopardy world a runaway. There was no catching to Jordan this last round, just saving maybe a little bit of dignity by getting those points at the end.
I love full perception. It's
Joey,
my favorite one.
You switched your hat all the way back again.
Yeah, that's the problem. You also didn't do that. I couldn't queen bee you there. I had to full fade you.
Joey, I'm guessing you're taking Austin Eckler here, right?
What? Yeah, I'm going to take Austin Eckler. What is going on today, guys? I mean, I'm fun
speaking to you.
I'm so focused on the Craig rivalry that it's interfering with my game. This is exactly what Taylor Swift is doing to Travis Kelce. She's distracting him. So Super Bowl week, when she's in London, she can ghost him, and Travis Kelce poops the bed in the Super Bowl, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl. If you've not seen this video, it's very fantastic.
I was going to say, I saw that as well. Where then she then pops up from underground to do a surprise halftime show in a bejeweled Eagles uniform. Is that the one we're talking about?
Yep. Dang. That's the video.
100%. Yep. I'm with you. That's what's happening. She's playing us all.
There's some really mean comments in the chat, and I just want to say, chat, I've always been on your side. I used to be one of you until I became better than you and I moved on to the show, but still, it hurts seeing all these things you've said about me today.
We got Dave in the chat saying old-fashioned beatdown. Craig said new high score for Jordan already, and Tim saying Joey is the Broncos of this poll perception game.
I am closer to Miami, so I guess I get to be closer to Mike McDaniel, and
I was just in Colorado, so we should have seen this coming. But so were you.
That's true.
Jordan, you were just in Colorado too.
You were there longer, I think. I feel like you were.
I was
you spent more time in there.
Yeah. Tim, you're saying Jordan, run it up. And Scamper saying 2 words, woodshed. Also, Craig stopping by saying, if you're saying I could be Taylor Swift to Joey's Travis Kelce, I accept.
I would kill to have that white and blue suit that he had.
You have no idea just what percentage of my TikTok feed was exclusively Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce videos yesterday. I think I scrolled 10 videos and 9 of them were Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. It's like they know me or something.
I'm excited. It's bringing a lot of new fans into the league. Yeah, sure. A lot of Chiefs fans are going to be kind of dogpiling in, but
they were doing that anyways because they have Patrick Mahomes. Know what I mean? Like, it's not like that's a new thing. People just loving the Chiefs.
But more eyes on the game. That's just better for everybody.
We got Midnight in here saying, good afternoon, everyone. What's up, Midnight? You're just in time for our final poll. Our contestants, do you guys have pen and paper or something to write on handy? A phone would work as well.
I feel like I already have my percent. I'm just making sure.
Okay. Well, here is your final poll. Which berry is best? Side A is raspberry. Side B is strawberry. Side C is blueberry. And side D is blackberry. What percentage of people said raspberry is the best berry? Your options are raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, and blackberry.
I mean, I think raspberry is the best berry, but I think that's kind of a hot take.
Yep. I got my answer, and I'll explain why I chose it.
You guys study up on your berry consumption habits recently?
I was not aware. I was ready for a football question.
And I mean, the Berry Farmers Association of America just dropped their 2022 report. And you guys haven't even read it yet. It's been out for 3 days. We got some answers rolling in the chat. Jordan, you got yours written down?
Yep.
Joey, you got yours?
I did. I wrote it on a picture of me and my Uber driver in Canton, Ohio.
Oh, come on.
Which I'll share with everyone.
Yeah, go ahead and show us your answers, guys.
Yeah. Mine's 25.
What a handsome Uber driver.
Mine's 11% on the Snapchat.
25% from Joey, 11% from Jordan.
That's me.
I would say that the car smelled bad, but the week before I was in a Uber in New York, and that smelled even worse. But
come on,
it was like not wet dog, maybe like wet ferret.
You fart one time, and everybody, come on. That's what I got to do when I first see you in Canton. Even though we're both in Florida, and I've only seen you in Denver, Colorado, and Canton, Ohio.
That's called the FYF special. Our friend Eric lives 3 miles from me, and I've only ever met him in Canton, Ohio. Well, guys, we got some guesses in the chat. Craig in here with 12%. Midnight coming in with 32%. We got Scampers guessing 51%. Dave saying 8%, but it's because people are wrong. With Darius says 17%. Tim guessing 11%. And a mini game we got going on. Scott says we grow 3 of these in our garden. Which one do we not? Take a guess on that. I'm going to go with strawberries because they seem too sensitive for the Minnesota cold.
That's I
would agree.
Really good thought process. I will say that I added 3-5, which gave me 8, and that's what I was thinking about guessing. I wrote that down originally. So Dave, I hope you are right. And then I also did 6-5, which is 11. So that's why I picked 11%.
11%. Well, guys, the berry that is best, according to over 4,000 votes, is, or that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you the percentage of people that thought raspberry was the best berry. The percentage of people that thought raspberry was the best berry was 24%. Joey, 1 percentage point away from right on, but you still are going to earn 5 points, bringing you up to 11. And the final score of this game is 19-11 with Jordan coming out on top. Nice job, guys. Jordan, you got me curious now. Which berry's best? You said you had a reason.
No, my reason for the percentage, but that was a 3-5, 6-5, but I would pick strawberry out of these 4 berries. And that's basic, and I'm a basic person. So you guys can have fun with that.
I'm going blackberry. Childhood memories of picking blackberries has formed like a nostalgia flavor in my mind that makes it the best berry. Joey, you think it's raspberries?
I would choose raspberries because there's a movie called Amelie, and she puts raspberries on her fingers and she eats them off. And ever since I saw that, that's how I eat raspberries. And it's just a fun way to eat food. And I'm all for fun ways to eat food.
And the best time to do that is when you're wearing a white shirt and then you rub your fingers on the white shirt immediately after and you have a cool tie-dye. Scott does not grow blueberries in his garden, grows everything else except for blueberries. And we don't grow any berries, but we do talk a lot of football here at Front Yard Fantasy. And we're going to do that tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. Every day, Monday through Friday, you can stop by here to hang out with us for some more fantasy football game show fun at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Jordan, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me. It's always a blast. Sorry, Joey. At least you made it like respectable. Me like a Vikings Chargers type performance there.
Yeah.
And not so much the Broncos Dolphins. It's very
nice.
we
can not invite you back. Like that's an option that we have on this show.
Maybe you'll host next time. So then
you want to talk about a dumpster fire, me hosting. Tune in Friday.
Well, guys, if you're not already following our friend Jordan, go and remedy that right now. You can find him on Twitter at Jordan Vanek DFS, and the link is below us in the description of this YouTube video as well. Get your week 4 hot tips for DFS from him and the 33rd team over there at the 33rd team FB on Twitter as well. That's going to be it for us this Tuesday, though. Get your waiver wire bids in and throw any questions you have about the waiver wire in our Discord. We'll help you in every league except for the Guillotine League. We'll see you guys on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Until then, adios, everyone.
Bye, everybody.